Hello you lot. So it's been quite a long time since I did one of these videos, and if you are part of the Llamas Love Lettering group, then you will know that I have been asking some questions and trying to find out whether or not to put this show, this circus, this whatever it is, back on the road. And so here is a quick flick through of my journal in the Archer and Olive, which I started 2 months ago, just to try and kick things back off again. So, first things first, the notebook itself. I think I'm going to call them feelings about the Archer and Olive notebooks from a quality perspective and also from a cost perspective. So I am based in the UK. Archer and Olive is not. So in order for me to purchase one of their notebooks, it is quite expensive. Many of you will be aware of the mystery boxes that Archer and Olive do I think they're doing one at the moment, where you can order a box of treats and that will come to you. You don't know what you're getting. It could be a planner, it could be a notebook with lines, it could be a dotted notebook. All you know is that you have paid this money and you will get something in a box from Bonnie at some point later on. Now this is all fantastic, and I'm all in favour of companies being able to find ways to promote and sell any excess stock that they have. I mean, the Archer and Olive journal with the fox front I absolutely adored. I'm trying to move away from notebook hoarding is what I'm trying to say. So for me to be able to purchase an Archer and Olive notebook mystery box would require me to spend probably about £35 on the physical box, about £15 on the postage, and then when it gets here we also have to pay the export charges, which can run up to between sort of £15 to £20. So it's a big way out if I'm wanting one of those. And at the times that we are living in at the moment, where people are not living their financial best life, I think sometimes we have to take a bit of a step back and think about what is important. And I mean, just in general life, even before things like coronavirus, my main outlook on things was food is the winner, dog, rest of family, bullet journal, possessions, general fitness. That's the kind of totem pole we're talking about. Anyway, let's get into things. So I began my Archer and Olive journal for, I have to look because I can't remember, just chat amongst yourself, July. So not too long ago. And the main thing for this journal was that it was going to be more back to basics. Think function over fancy. Sometimes that's not how it goes, and it has got a little bit out of control on one of the months, but the main ethos of this notebook is that I want this to be a practical resource in my life that I refer to, that I use on a daily basis, and that I can use to better myself as a human being. So, that's me. I've done all the normal things like create a key. I've got my future log, which for a large majority of the time that I was using it was pointless because there is nothing happening in my life apart from work, and I'm working from home. Do I really need to put that in there? No, I don't think I do. So I went with a really simple theme for July. Credit to the original artist who was not credited on Pinterest, but if you did this theme before, thank you for giving me your inspiration. I found it was perfect, it worked for me brilliantly. So a simple page, everything on this spread is as simple as possible, just lines, colours, simple lettering all the way through. This looks like it's big and complicated, but it's just the colour changes that make it as complex as it is. I went with my habits in a box, which I've done before. I've done a mood graph, and I've done a sleep tracker. I thought it would be interesting to see how well I was sleeping at the moment, primarily because of the heat, which I don't enjoy, and also because it's quite a weird time at the moment and it can be a little bit anxiety inducing to do certain things. So just to see how I was getting sleep and what my mood was looking like. In fact, looking at this, the only time that I really had a bad day was this little monkey here. And I think that was the day that I wasn't feeling very well. The rest of the month has been pretty good, which is good for me. I like this. Well done, July. You made me happy. Don't look at this bit. So I've been happy with everything. I've had something to be positive about every day. I do need to update my photos. I've got a to-do list that has more empty boxes than full boxes. That's just really me, to be honest. The majority of things that are in this to-do list I'll just keep looking back to, and then I'll tick them off as and when I do them. And I've gone back to having some playlist and watch list spreads so that I can see what movies I've been watching and what I've been listening to. I've made a real conscious effort to get back into reading. One of the things that I found when I finished my degree, that my capacity to concentrate got completely wiped out by researching and writing essays and just academic book reading, which tended to be skim reading, and it's taken me a really long time to just click back in to a reading for fun kind of vibe. So I was really pleased that I was actually able to read a book that wasn't a research book, that didn't have anything to do with a degree, because that's all done with now. Thank you very much. I've got my rolled up piece of paper and I've had my picture in my hat. So I read The Psychopath Test by John Ronson, which was recommended to me about 3 years ago, and it's sat on my shelf for about 2 years, and now I finally read it. Honestly, one of the best books that I've ever read. I am shaking this table like a bandit. I'm so sorry. Anyone who feels seasick, please just check for paper bags and for access to the toilets if you need that. So sorry. Sorry, back to the book. Short, non-spoilery synopsis. It's about a guy who, a journalist who is put in contact with a man who has been put into a UK facility for people who are considered to be criminally insane. He says that he used being criminally insane as the get out for not going to real prison, and when he told them that he wasn't crazy, they wouldn't let him out. So yeah, it might sound a little bit strange, but it's quite a short book, and if you get the chance, I'd really recommend it. In terms of my movie watching, I buckled and got a subscription for Disney Plus, and it has been just one long Star Wars and Marvel adventure ever since. So as you can see, I have been slowly working my way through all of the Star Wars movies. I will confess I haven't seen Solo or Rogue One up to this point. Call myself a Star Wars fan, that's shameful. And I've also watched Hamilton, which there's a controversy to Hamilton. So I used to work in a residential school for teenagers with autism, and one of those kids who lived on my house was obsessed with Hamilton. Everything was Hamilton. Do you want to watch it tonight? What about tomorrow? What about Wednesday? Could we maybe do Thursday? And I'm one of these people that the more you push me towards something, the more I will dig my heels in and say, no, actually I don't want to watch it. And at the time, really a kind of wrapped synopsis of the founding fathers of a country that I don't live in didn't really appeal to me. So it got shelved and I didn't really think about it. And then the powers that be on Disney were like, hey, we're going to put this on our channel and you can watch it if you want. So there's me thinking, well, maybe we'll see what all the fuss is about. And I loved it. Oh my goodness. As a writer, as a lyricist, like, I love Lin-Manuel Miranda. His musical In the Heights is absolutely my favourite musical of all time. I love it, and I really feel a little bit embarrassed that through pure stubbornness I put off watching this musical, because it really would have been beneficial to me, because honestly it's fantastic. But anyway, moving swiftly on from my embarrassment, so that's controversial. If that kid ever finds out that I watched it and I enjoyed it, I'll be ruined. I'll never be able to show my face again. Not a lot. Well, actually, I say not a lot going on. I really enjoyed having the big spaces again to just go wild with the stickers and the lettering, and just really, as you can see, just kind of having plans for every day. I don't know how you've got along during lockdown, and if you're working from home or if you're on furlough. I think just having structure to the days where there is potentially nothing has been really beneficial for me, because I need to know what I'm doing for the rest of that day. Otherwise I will plonk myself down on a soft surface and I will veg. And vegging usually includes a bit of cupboard grazing and just generally becoming, let's go back to Star Wars, just becoming some kind of Jabba the Hutt kind of creation of my own making. But anyway, this one's a good one because I was searching for rainbow quotes and they were all rubbish. I'm a bit sarcastic, you might have noticed, and all of them were all about rainbows and positivity and peace and don't look for the rain, see the rainbow. Like, come on, that's not me. So in the end I just got frustrated and I made up my own quote. So there that is, I'm pretty proud of that. I made another tracker for the F1 this year. It's a little bit different to last year. The situation with the F1 is that there are less races this year because of COVID, but I can honestly say that I could not be more grateful to the people who run that circus that they brought it back at all, because just having that back in, I didn't realise how much I liked sport until I had it taken away from me, and I'm just so overjoyed to have racing back. It's brilliant. Again, we've gone with the Fleetwood Mac quote. I don't know if anyone watched my video from last year, but yeah, very important. And we've just got some extra information now that wasn't on the last one. I've seen some of the other F1 trackers on some of the other bullet journal groups on Facebook, and they are spot on. Like, they're amazing. They're inspirational, and I can't wait for another year to pass so that I can have a go at making this spread even bigger and better than it is already. I've also left a blank page because there are going to be more races. So as we've gone along, they've added more races to the calendar that will come after the Italian race. So this will just literally carry on and go wherever. August. Oh, let's take that out because I don't need that anymore. August. The craft paper edition. I know I said that I was going to try and make it a little less fancy. This is the one that went wrong. So I spent hours gluing bits of brown paper and creating these kind of coffee ring effect arrangements with my Crayolas. No, Amazon August. That's what this is. I don't know whether I've been keeping the UK branch of Amazon in business personally, because furlough shopping is real. I have about probably 80 new things in my house because I got bored and I got shopping and I had to put my foot down. So we are now on the 15th of August, and I can quite honestly say that with the exception of buying some pens for a commission that I'm doing, I have not spent anything on Amazon for myself personally with my own personal funds. And it doesn't sound like much of an achievement, but I'm gonna have actual money left over at the end of the month, and that hasn't happened for 2 months. I really honestly need some kind of adult to get in here and start delivering some kind of supervision, because I don't have the capacity apparently. So the habits have gone back to the traditional style, and I've gone for a mood tracker with different kinds of coffee. So for bad times we've got an espresso, because who doesn't need perking up? For the average times we've got ourselves a macchiato, because I love macchiatos, but why so much foam? I'm not a puppy. I don't need a puppuccino, I need a coffee. We've got a cappuccino for feeling good, and we've got, what is that? Is that a latte? Yeah, it is a latte. Sorry, I'm just having a bit of a epiphany moment with things that I should already know. And then we have a latte for when I'm feeling super special, smashing great. And that's probably because in the time that I was off work, I worked out how to use my coffee machine, and some of my Amazon purchases included some fine Brazilian roast, a metal jug with temperature gauge for my milk steaming, and probably about 100 different things for coffee making. Oh, caramel syrup. So I am now a barista. I'm a self-trained barista who can make caramel lattes like they're going out of fashion and drink them just as quickly. That's going to be a problem at some point. Oh dear. Anyway, gratitude is huge this month. It covers 2 pages. I feel like I've done this before and I always end up regretting it, because as you can see, there's maybe a little bit too much space. But anyway, I keep up with my tasks and my menu by having these spreads here. And then for the monthly, we went with tearing out paper and putting them into squares. I think it looks nice. It looks very nice, actually. Let's not beat around the bush here. But I can't, there's no lines anymore. So everything's gone a little bit, and everything's a bit brown. I know I shouldn't be concerned about this. It's coffee, it's meant to be brown. But yeah, I like it and I also don't like it. So I am looking forward to the end of the month. Ooh, sneak preview there. Again, got some photos in there. Okay, so this is what I've just done. This is what I finished yesterday. Ooh, we're rocking again. Sorry, no patting the table. I've gone back to trying to be less fancy and to try and be a bit more overriding functionality to looking like it's pretty. It has turned out quite pretty, but it didn't take anywhere near as long as previous spreads have, so that's a winner. I went for purple and blue because September's one of those months where you don't want to go full fall because it's still quite hot, and I don't want to use all my orange and brown because what am I going to do for Halloween? So much to think about. So I've literally just done some fancy leaves with some watercolour just thrown at everything. This is the first spread ever that I've done that doesn't have a calendar spread, because I was finding that I don't use it. I was putting stuff in, but when I'm doing my day-to-days, I only look at the weekly spread, so there really is no point to having that giant different looking thing at the start of every month. That was purely aesthetic. So got rid of that. I've just put in the dates so that I know what day I'm dealing with, and we literally run straight into the different spreads for the month. I've done something a little different for mood and sleep this month. I've decided to combine the two. So what I'll be doing is I'll be running the sleep from here along with a coloured line, and then my mood will just be indicated by where the leaf is drawn on that line. And what that should do is have a similar effect to what I was doing on this spread, that you'll see the mood and the sleep, but they'll correlate with each other, which again is another thing that I'd be quite interested to find out, if whether my lack of sleep is going to affect my mood on the following day. So lots of science going on here, people. Concentrate. My to-do list and my menu stays exactly the same because those things are working. I don't know what you guys are like for repetition in your journals, but I find that I can keep the same thing going for a little while and then I have to change it because my brain gets bored and I stop caring about it. Well, I don't stop caring about it, but I'm just not interested anymore because it looks the same as it has done for the last 3 months, and really if it wanted to keep my attention it would be doing something different. We are doing something completely different with the habit tracker, something I've not done before. I would like to thank Bullet Journal Noob on Instagram for the inspiration for having dots which are filled in. This took ages. This is just, I was going for simple and get it done quickly, but oh no. Let's draw 500,000 dots on the piece of paper. I don't know whether you've noticed as well, but all of the quotes that I've gone for on this are kind of self-belief quotes. September is going to be a really, really busy work month for me. I work for a university student union. We are currently in the preparation for our freshers events that are happening, which are about 1,000 times more complicated now that we've got COVID, to think about social distancing, how many people we can have here, what kind of events we can run. It's a nightmare. But running it we are. So one of the reasons that this spread is done so much in advance is so that I can just concentrate on filling what I need to in, doing my work, and then just having a rest, because that's going to be pretty much the self-care that I'm going to be delivering to myself that month. But yeah, all the quotes are kind of believing that you can do things, not expecting too much of yourself. I think that's one thing that we're all guilty of sometimes, especially when we look to other people, that I can see someone achieving their goals, but I feel like I'm comparing myself to them and I'm not achieving mine. But like the quote's saying, maybe that person didn't start from the same point that I do. Maybe that person doesn't have the skills or didn't have to learn the skills that I do, and you can only be that person. You can only do what you can. So I think maybe just kind of, reflecting a little more on what's achievable for me and not being too hard on myself if I don't achieve the same as the person that's sat next to me. Good outlook for life, Joe. I've gone back to one page for my gratitude, and I'm keeping the playlist and watch list going because I just seem to be on a roll with Disney Plus. So let's just see where that takes us. I've still got a couple more Marvels to watch. I managed to finish the main Avengers movies, which have been on hold for about a year. I did cry quite considerably during, much after Endgame, but yeah, I won't put any spoilers in there, but yeah, there was a lot of tissues and a lot of snot. Disgusting, I know, I'm sorry. And then moving on to the monthly spreads with the weeks. Is this a monthly spread? Is this a weekly spread? What is it? Someone tell me. I've gone for Dutch doors, which previously I've not enjoyed because I always seem to make them too small. These ones seem like they'll be manageable. I get quite big, as you can see from this baby here. I like lots of big lettering, I like lots of boxes, I like to use stickers if there's space. So this hopefully will be the first time that I've tried Dutch doors and I've not hated it. Fingers crossed. And that just goes along there. Made a bit of a cock up here, but who cares. All the way into the last page where we'll pop some more photos in. And that's it, we're done. So I hope that you've enjoyed my spectacular return to the Bullet Journal YouTube community. I would love to hear from you if you have any thoughts about what I have put into the pages of this notebook, or if you have any suggestions, or you want to comment on anything that I've said. I will always check through the comments and respond to anyone. I'm just grateful that someone came along and had a look, to be honest. But yeah, if you would like to subscribe, you are more than welcome to join the party, and if this is well received, then I will be back at a later date. But in the meanwhile, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon.